right, and we are live. We are live everywhere. We are live on Twitch, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Discord, we are live on media.network. Welcome everybody once again. Thank you so much for being here. We are humbled to have Port Finance together with us on stage, and we can explore together money markets and the Solana DeFi. Let's hope we can extract some alpha from this amazing team. Port Captain, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for Grape for the opportunities.
What an amazing time to have our AMA. Solana at all-time high, TVL locked in Solana at all-time high, TVL in Port Finance all-time high. What's your take on the market conditions? How do you think, why do you think, what has changed and we see Solana pumping more than all the other smart contract platforms?
Yeah, there has been a lot of great, amazing teams building on Solana. And I think the market now finally realized that Solana is like vastly undervalued before. And now like the market starts to reprice it. Like on various fronts, there's just so many exciting opportunities. Like for example, like there's a lot of people and teams building GameFi. There's Star Atlas and also DeFi Land. And then on DeFi side, there's Radiance, and then also Mercury, Saber, and Orca. And then a ton of other projects working on derivatives, like for example, options and perpetuals, etc. And then also there's a ton of projects working on NFTs. I think it's just amazing to see like the ecosystem is growing, and naturally like the protocol that all these projects build on, Solana, will appreciate in value.
Totally agree, and all the projects you mentioned are AAA projects, and they've all played a huge role on getting the DeFi scene in Solana where it is now. And you guys are also part of those projects, the AAA projects, and we are thankful we have you, and we're thankful for your service. Guys, you are part of the force that is driving Solana at the moment.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you get into crypto? How did you start building on Solana? What's the journey of the Port Finance team?
Yes, so the team has 4 people, and all of us are coming from an engineering background. 3 of us have a degree from Imperial College, so we meet each other in London, and another guy is coming from University of Oxford. And then previously we have all worked at some larger tech companies, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and then also some quant trading firms such as Jump Trading and also Firebase Capital. And then we get into crypto initially from just trading derivatives. So we do quantitative tradings starting in 2017. And later on, we get more into the actual product side, like for example, how all this Ethereum protocol works. And then in 2020, we get into the Solana ecosystem. We got hooked up on Solana because we participate in the Ethereum IEO on FTX. And then we start to realize, okay, this is pretty cool. We can build an order book using blockchain. And then we start to learn how Ethereum works. And then gradually learns about how Solana works. And now we decide to build on Solana because we see there's a lot of the fundamental building blocks of DeFi Lego is missing. So that's why we choose to build on Solana.
For those that came unprepared, for the soldiers that came to work that came to war without their weapons, could you give us a quick TLDR of what Port Finance is?
Yes, of course. So in Port Finance, we are building a suite of fixed interest rate products. We have 3 major products. The first one is variable rate lending product, which is currently live on Solana mainnet with 25 million TVL. And then our second product will be a fixed interest rate product that utilizes the Ethereum order book. And then our third product will be an interest rate swap product. So we will start, our current plan is to start the liquidity mining. We are aiming for this week. And then after liquidity mining, we will start to work on the fixed rate product.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, I think these are extremely important and valuable services, and I think working on these kind of derivatives and like you can create a market for derivatives that Solana can pioneer. So yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
And if you had to compare yourselves with a project in Ethereum, who would you be? Would you be Aave?
Yeah, I think the current product is very similar to Aave. We borrow a lot of the concept from the Ethereum world, where, for example, interest rate calculation is similar to Aave, where we use two pieces of linear functions. But we improve based on our understanding of liquidations. So we are able to push a lot of parameters further and more aggressively, thanks to the Solana block time is a lot shorter than Ethereum. And then, however, going forward, we actually have more interesting product, as mentioned. We are working on the fixed rate product and then also the interest rate swap product. So you could say Aave is a subset of us.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, of course, with the power with the power of Solana, you can take it to a completely different level. You can create really a money market that even traditional finance would be jealous of.
Yeah, that's exactly our goal.
And is this something, guys, like as a team that you've done before? Have you ever built something maybe on Ethereum before? Have you ever had this experience of fundraising, of creating something from the ground up and being super successful? Is it something new for you, or you've done it in the past?
So building something on blockchain, like a complete product on blockchain, is actually our first time. But then previously we have worked as a larger tech companies building large-scale data systems, but not on blockchain. And then also we have built some trading system before, as mentioned earlier, because we get into cryptocurrency via quantitative trading. So we have worked before, and then also we met each other, and we know each other for quite a long time. So we have collaborated with each other for quite some time.
Yeah, that's an explosive mix, you know. Knowing each other intimately and trusting each other is pretty important. So yeah, for sure, part of the success. I'm looking at the current conditions. I'm looking at the current market conditions, and of course there is a lot of volume at the moment in the Solana DeFi space, and this has resulted in borrow and deposit APYs on the port platform for USDC to be over 50%. What's your comment on that? How is this going to continue? Yeah, some comments on this situation.
So even right now, the USDC borrow rate at port is still at 38%. So it's super high. I think there are several reasons that cause this. One is that people want leverage. So from what we can see, a lot of people use Solana as their collaterals and then borrow a ton of USDC. And then they might want to use it to gain more leverage on their Solana positions. For example, use Solana and then borrow USDC and buy more Solana. And then also there's a lot of yield farming opportunities existing in Solana DeFi, especially the stable swaps. So there could be a lot of people that uses Mercury or uses Solana and then borrow stables, and then they use the stables to do more yield farming. And then the tokens that they get, they can borrow some more stables.
Yeah, some pretty awesome DeFi strategies that are using port finance as well. Here on my stream, together with Axis from your community, we had an amazing strategy where we are borrowing. We are borrowing USDC. We're using USDC to mint Pi, and then we collateralize this Pi on the port finance platform to borrow more USDC, and we're doing this cyclical move where we are getting so many different rewards from early liquidity incentives. Super awesome, but it breaks now with that with such APYs.
Yeah, we are trying to ask more people to come and deposit the USDC. I think we have seen some growth. Right now it's 4 million. Last time I checked, I think it's 3 million or something. So there is some growth. But yeah, we could use some more help, like on the stablecoin front. But I think the issue is there's too many other yield farming opportunities on Saber or on Mercury's or on Oka.
I
So
see,
that's
I
why
see.
we are
So
also
it's
looking to
taking all
launch.
the capital.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we going to see something that has to do with port staking with your coin? Are we going to see some kind of staking pool for port?
I think right now users are able to stake on Ascendex, and then also you can provide liquidity. The port USDC pool on Oka is generate. It has quite some APY. I think probably 200%. And then also for the protocol itself, we plan to launch liquidity mining to incentivize the depositor, a formal program. We are aiming for this week.
Oh, I see, I see. That's interesting. I didn't know that port had that Orca had a port USDC pool with incentive. Is it incentivized? Is it part of the Aqua pools? Or no? Ah,
Yes,
no.
it's
Yes, it's
called.
an aqua farm. Indeed, I'm seeing it now. I have it on screen. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Nice,
double
nice,
dip.
nice.
So
Because
you earn both.
I have to tell you that I'm not very comfortable on taking my port and my USDC on a centralized exchange. I prefer trading through DEXs, and although Ascendix has been a great place, I'm waiting for something that's on chain, and that's something that's part of the decentralized scene.
Yep. We
Are
are
you going
also
to?
working very hard.
Oh yeah, continue. Sorry. You're working very hard for.
Yeah, we are also working very hard to get it launched, get the on-chain ones rolling. For the liquidity mining, I think uh, right now the concept of the plan is we want to incentivize the user who holds port that. So basically, user, for example, are you familiar with the concept of like, do you know FTX, and if you hold FTT, you get certain discount by
Yes,
holding
of
it.
course, of course.
So we are thinking it would be cool if we can implement something similar. So for example, if you hold port, then when you provide liquidity on port, if you hold, you get certain boost. So we are also experimenting to see how can we implement that something similar to that on chain.
Very interesting, and yeah, that would drive a lot of people to use the platform, and yeah, for sure it would increase TVL.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing anything with liquid staked Sol, like Marinate Sol, M Sol, Pi Sol? You know, all these liquid staked Solana. Will we ever see it as collateral in Port Finance?
We actually already supported the Marinade stake, so you can use it as collateral to borrow other assets. And then we are also working with party pairs very closely to try get their PSO supported. Um, However, one issue that we need to resolve is to get because when you have all these new assets coming up, for example, PSOs, mainly our concern is on the liquidation side. We need to ensure that there's enough liquidity. If, say, we liquidate someone and uses PSO as collateral, we want to be able to immediately sell it. So that's currently a blocker. We are working actively to resolve that.
I see. So A lot of nice things, and you guys are moving really fast. You're doing all these nice partnerships. You have your increased incentives, yield strategies passing through your platform. You're doing it right, guys. Bravo, bravo. Um, uh, could you maybe tell us your views on the DeFi landscape on Solana? Like, you and a couple more platforms are killing it and are creating these dynamic strategies. Do you think? What do you think is missing? What do you think should be added next to this ecosystem to take it to the moon? Or maybe something that is not in Ethereum yet, but could be developed in Solana and really make a difference?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. The core advantage of Solana is its low latency and also high speed. So that enable us to create things such as serial order book. And then I think a lot of the compromise that we have to make on Ethereum can be resolved on Solana. So for example, we can have serial order books where the price is determined entirely by market instead of a fixed curve. And then similarly, a lot of the exciting derivative products are being built on Solana based on kind of this order book structure. I think this is something that's truly amazing, and it will be super difficult to being built on Ethereum.
Any teams building products on Solana that you would wish to give a shout out? Like anything that we should also take a look at as a community, as alpha seekers, as investors, or between air quotes at least, something that's maybe a bit hidden from our non-builder eyes?
I think 01 protocol is building something quite interesting. They are building everlasting options. So that's something similar to perpetuals, but then apply this concept into the option space. So Paradigm Research has published this new paper, like outlining this concept of everlasting options. And then I think the team is trying to get it done and build it on Solana. I think that's pretty amazing.
Wow. Wow, thank you for this information. I took a note immediately. I'm going to take a look. Thank you for this. Amazing. If Paradigm is making papers on it, it's definitely something we should take a look at.
Yeah, exactly.
At the moment, the market and Solana market, the Solana space especially, together with Ethereum, are experiencing this explosion in NFT hype and gamified NFTs or gamification in general. Will we see port finance tap into this in any way? I don't know, maybe collateralize very popular NFTs for other things. Is it something that you're planning, or is completely not in your plans?
Yeah, I think NFT is pretty amazing. There's a lot of like great project like the Ape, and then also Solana Punk, etc. I think that gains a lot of popularities, and we actually wanted to collaborate with some NFT protocols that perhaps we can do something together. But on the collateral side, it's a bit hard to accept NFT as collateral because like NFT is relatively illiquid. So we cannot, like for example, during the liquidation phase, we cannot just liquidate them using Serum or Radium. And then also it's a bit hard to price it. But then if there's any ideas that could resolve these issues, yeah, we are quite open to experimenting with new ideas, for example, to get it supported.
Yeah, there are some funky protocols, not in Solana yet, that create liquidity in the NFT market by fractionalizing them and all these things. Maybe it's too much of an experiment to actually implement it for now, but yeah, we should keep our eyes open for stuff on that side of things.
Yep.
How about I want your comments since port finance is already part of DeFi strategies. How is Solana doing in terms of composability? Are the protocols interacting with each other in a seamless way? Like, in my view, I think we still have a long way to go, but I think your view is more important.
Yeah, I think I agree that like there's a lot of things that can be worked on, and it's still quite um, like DeFi on Solana is still quite early. A lot of the missing pieces has just begun to get filled. For example, in borrowing and lending space, like previously there was I think only Mango does borrowing and lending. Right now there's more protocols, and I think one very simple stuff that people could build is kind of like working capital on Solana, where people can deposit their stables, and then they can automatically find the best yield using, for example, using Saber or using Mercury or using Mango Market or using Orca, and then they just automatically does it for users instead of using it to find the best farm.
So yeah, as totally agree, totally agree. Things are being built, and I can definitely see some better user experience with increased composability in the DeFi ecosystem of Solana. So many strategies could be automated depending on the all these early incentive programs that so many platforms are launching at the same time. You could have all of them interact with each other and make it easier for the end user to invest. But as you said, we have a long time to go. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, and also with Solana, you can actually balance strategy, like rebalance the strategy a lot faster. On Ethereum, for example, when you move funds from one protocol to another, you might incur quite, say, high gas price. But then on Solana, it's like almost cost free, so you can just
Yeah.
rebalance it. Very
Yes, and you can be capital efficient when you can do that. Like you can increase capital efficiency so much.
yeah.
You mentioned Mango, and in my mind comes part in your I think in your roadmap where you're saying that you're going to be implementing leveraged trading using the Radium AMM. Could you elaborate a little bit on how this works and how this is different than Mango that is using Serum?
Yeah, I think Mango has built a great product, and it allows you to connect to Serum seamlessly. Uh, what we want to build is something that's kind of easier for, like, gears more towards like kind of less professional traders, where, for example, they just want to gain some leverage with their existing, say, Solana holdings or their Serum holdings. And we want to provide kind of a one-click experience. The user only needs to choose, for example, which assets they want to gain leverage on, and also the amount of leverage that they want to have. And then we automatically route through either Serum or the Radiant to find the best price that's available. So we want to build this experience for our users, so that they don't need to, for example, set a price, place an order and decide on the where to place the order, what's the price, etc. We want to make it simple and easy, and then can be done with just one click.
Yeah, that's once again, you're gonna drive a lot of traditional finance people, maybe non-crypto users, if you have all these beautiful products in your protocol. Uh, Giving us all these little details and reading your white paper and seeing what's happening in the Solana ecosystem, I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to be part of the success stories. Like, I hope. Is there any way that in the future port holders will benefit from this success? Is there any world out there where the port holders get a share of the protocol fees?
Yeah, I think in the white, I think we've outlined that 50% of the protocol earned fee will be used to buy and burn the tokens. So that effectively is kind of equivalent to sharing the protocol fees, because when you buy it in the open market, token price appreciates, and then you then remove that. So the number of core tokens is ever decreasing. And then another thing is,
has this initiated? Have you done this, or this is planned for the future?
we will done it after the first month. So we launched the token on the 8th of August. So we will do it every month. So the current plan is to do it on the 8th of September.
Wow, that's very important information. Thank you again for this, taking a note as we speak. And who would you consider competition in where you are at the moment? Which protocol in Solana are you competing with? Or there is no such thing? Everything is a cooperative move at the moment.
I think there are some other protocols that's also tackling similar space, like borrowing lending. So there are like Solan, Acumen. They're also working on borrowing lending. But I think the focus is a bit different. Our main focus is tries to get, like as mentioned earlier, our mission is to get whole suite of products, and we actually want to build something that's harder to build or implement on Ethereum, but could be a lot easier on Solana. So our current product is only the first step towards our ultimate vision. So we want to work on fixed rate lending after liquidity mining, and also interest rate swap further down the line.
Fixed rate lending would be huge. What's like? Is there a really rough, even like approximate timeline when we were going to see such a product in the Solana DeFi space?
Our goal is to get it launched by end of this year. So initially, like as what we have done before, we would just launch it on DevNet, and user can play around with it with using the facade, and then mint some like fake USDC or fake Solana, and then they can try out and then play around with it and provide us some feedback, and then we'll keep iterating, and then once we feel that everything's ready, we'll get it up on the mainnet.
Do you have like a targets for the return? Like, are we talking about Anchor protocol, where I've seen it on other chains with a fixed rate of 20% per year, for example? Are we talking about such high numbers, or you see it being lower?
We want to lead this entirely to the market. So as long as there's someone that's willing to borrow, say, 20%, then the user will get 20%. But then if, for example, the market are only willing to borrow 5%, then the rate will be 5%. So we want to lead this entirely to all these borrowers and to the market, instead of us promising any yield.
I see. So it's going to be a trial and error until the fixed rate is stabilizing somewhere.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the price discovery when you buy certain coins. Like right now, Solana have very high price. Then it's similar to interest rate, where if there's a lot of borrowing demand, then the rate got pushed a lot higher. Then if there's less, then the rate drops.
And with all these beautiful protocols and money markets and the lightning speed of Solana, do you think that we're going to see derivatives overtaking the spot market?
Yeah, I think it's quite possible, because we've seen a lot of like products being built, like on the perpetual side. We have Bonfida's perpetual, and then also I think Drip is building perpetuals, Mango is building perpetuals. I think this is all great and amazing like applications. And then also on the option side, there's Zeta that's building undercollateralized option, and then also Zero One, as I mentioned earlier, they're building
Psi options, the other one.
Yeah, and also Psi options, yeah.
Yeah, indeed, and it's more close to reality having the derivatives market being larger than the spot market. So this kind of normality kind of makes me even more bullish on the Solana DeFi ecosystem. Like this kind of uh, parallel with the traditional finance world.
Yeah, yeah. And also we have seen a lot of like traditional trading companies, like previous giants in all this like traditional market, equity markets, like jump trading, and then also um, like Cumberland and the CMTs, etc. They're all super interested in all the Solana projects, and then also they invest heavily, and also they participate heavily. So, and that also makes me extra bullish when all these traditional big guys are so interested in this new chain.
Yeah, it's obvious that some of the big players are joining this game, and it makes sense. It's for sure partly the reason Solana is moving so hard.
Yeah.
So, are you guys gonna join the Lisbon party in a couple of months, or are you going to? Where are you based? Or you can of course not answer any of these questions if you wanna stay completely anonymous. But if you wanna share anything with us, we'd love to.
Yeah, so we are actually based in China, so it's a bit hard for us to actually move and then like
Portugal, yeah,
go to
makes
Lisbon
sense.
because
Bummer. I'd love to drink a couple of beers with you guys and talk markets. Maybe in the Chinese Solana meetup we'll meet.
yeah, yeah, looking forward to it.
Uh, Before we close it, would you like to share anything with the world? Maybe any plans for port finance? Any short-term or long-term plans? Anything you would love to share?
Yeah, I think I would like to thank all of the port holders and also the user of the protocols. Like you really provides some amazing feedback, and then also like you help us keep improving the products. And then without your support, we cannot make this far. Like because as I talked about earlier, we haven't go through the fundraising and also building product cycle before. So we actually learn a lot along the journey, and we hope to keep iterate based on your feedback. And really grateful that we have for these users that keeps providing feedback and then also help the product grow and ourselves grows. And then I would also like to thank the Grape community for hosting this event and also creating Port Harbor where we get to interact with all the super fans.
It's awesome. It's awesome because I will actually have over 100 people watching us on the live event, and we're gonna have thousands watching the recorded event once we release the video with the transcript and everything. So super successful. And I have on my screen at the moment your fundraising partners, the ones you list on your website at least. You guys have AAA partners, and having the portfolio synergies, having all these people to bounce ideas off and connect with, amazing for a team that is new to all this, at least on the founding side, not on the building, not on the experience. Everything looks amazing, but AAA partners shows a lot.
Thank you.
Bravo, guys! Bravo! And the Grape Protocol is very happy to have you in the family. There are some real fans, some real alpha happening behind the port gate in the port harbor. Shout out to Axel and to Axis. Sorry. Shout out to Axis. He's a trooper, and I hope to see more strategies passing by and involving port finance.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay. Thank you so much, and let's stay in touch. Let's do this again on the future, and maybe we can have a morning coffee and just talk about markets, not even call it AMA. Let's just have a market talk. It would be awesome.
Yeah, will be awesome. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Take care, have a beautiful day, and may the portfolios remain green for the rest of eternity.
You too. Bye.
Alright, guys. What an awesome talk. What an